Hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie McGreen, and welcome back to Pageant Planet Live. I'm very excited to have the beautiful Ela Mino joining us today. Welcome, Ella. She is Miss Global.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, we are so excited to have you because you are going to fill us in on what it takes to wear that sparkly Miss Global crown of yours.
Okay, sounds good. I have the crown right here. So this is the official Miss Global crown. So the next girl to be crowned will get my crown.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Okay, well, let's get started. I know one area of competition is national outfit. So tell us, what are the judges looking for? And tell us about your outfit too.
Okay, yeah, so national costume. So you actually start the show with the national costume competition, and what they want is each delegate to choose a costume that they feel best represents their country. For me, what I did was I actually found a costume that represented my country but also represented me as well. I chose to be an ice hockey player. So in Canada, obviously, hockey is a huge part of our culture here. And I actually played 2 years of competitive hockey at the junior A level. So I just thought that it was very fitting. And the costume was actually really, really comfortable too, which was great. Yeah, so I wore my home team jersey. I'm from Calgary, so I wore a Calgary Flames jersey, and I had a stick and some nice red high heels, and yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I bet you looked totally incredible in that outfit.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a fun outfit.
Okay, in terms of interview, tell us, what do you feel set you apart from the other contestants? And what do you think we need to do in order to make a lasting impression on the judges?
Okay, yeah, so the interview is actually one of the most, in my opinion at least, it's one of the most important parts of the competition. At the Miss Global pageant, they try to stay away from religious or political questions. It's more of just they want to know who you are, what you're ambitious about, what organizations you might be passionate about, or any kind of volunteer or charity work you do. And obviously, kind of the big question is, if you win Miss Global, what are you going to do with your year? And so I think the most important thing for the interview with the judges is just to really relax. It's hard because, I mean, you have a little bit of nerves going in, but that's the biggest thing. The biggest tip I could give is you just really have to relax and really be genuine with your answers. Don't go in with memorized answers, or like there's sometimes there'll be cue cards or people will be reading things beforehand. I found for me the best thing to do was I kind of brainstormed a little bit of questions that they could potentially ask me, and then I kind of thought, well, this is how I would want to answer the question. Yeah, and so I think the biggest thing for me was just being natural and just coming across as genuine as I could.
Okay, now you brought up a good point about nerves.
Hmm.
And, everybody gets nervous before the interview. So, how did you deal with that?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for nerves is the more you practice, the more you learn how to control your nerves and ignore them a little bit final night and an interview with the judges. So for me, it was just the more prepared I was, the more I was able to hide my nerves a little bit. But for every area of the competition, I think it's only natural to get nervous. Just because you work so hard, so you want all your hard work to pay off. And also, there's obviously a crowd, and um, a few pageants do live video recording as well. So you just want to do the best that you can do.
So true, so true. Now, what about evening gown? What can we do to sparkle and shine?
Okay, so evening gown. A lot of people have asked me, do I always go with sparkly dresses? And so the thing is, I chose to wear a sparkly dress, but the reason why I chose to wear it was because I liked the way it fit my body and it was comfortable for me to walk in. And I love the sparkles and I love the design of the gown, but I mean, just getting a sparkly dress does not really mean that that's a winning pageant gown necessarily. I mean, I think obviously, as long as you feel really beautiful and confident in it, and you feel good in the gown, it'll show, and the judges will see that. And as long as you feel comfortable walking in the gown and shoes that are comfortable to walk in, I think those are more important than just the physical dress itself. There are a lot of other girls in the top five. I think actually I was the only one with a shimmery dress. All the other girls had really, really pretty gowns, but all the gowns were really unique. And you kind of just want to try and find something that it's fitting with you and your personality. And Miss Philippines had a really amazing gown. She had designed it with a designer, and she actually won the Best Evening Gown Award. So hers wasn't sparkly, so it does not. So I just want to stress you do not need to have sparkle to have the best evening gown in the competition.
Well, I have to say, I was checking out photos from the website, and you looked gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now in terms of on-stage question, what can we do to really stand out to the judges and showcase our personality?
So again, what I said with personal interview applies hugely with the top 5 questions. So obviously you're not put on the spot, you're a little bit nervous, but for me, top 5 questions have been one of my favorite part of the competition. I kind of like the anticipation of wondering what they're going to ask me, and I don't know, I feel like I'm more inclined to just give a natural response. Obviously you answer the best way you can, and you have to learn how to deal with the nerves of question again, but once you've made it to top 5, that's already such a big accomplishment. So for me, getting to the top 5, I actually got way less nervous. I was really nervous up until top 5, and then I just relaxed, and I kind of was just like, okay, I'm just going to answer it the best way I can. I've already made it so far. So I think that's the biggest thing, is really just going in, really thinking, how am I going to showcase myself through my final questions? I have 45 seconds to a minute to answer this question. And obviously you want to come across intelligent, but you also want to come across really natural. So that can be really hard, because you don't want to just have memorized answers or things you might have read in a newspaper, or things that you just are kind of like just kind of throwing an answer together because you're so nervous. You really want to think, how do I want to come across? So yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me, was just answering it the best that I could. Yeah, it was just a really natural response. It was, yeah, that was my final answer.
I love it, and I love the naturalness of it. And I loved how you relaxed when you were
Yeah.
5 at the question. Good for you. Way to go.
At one point they had, I think we were doing the final look in the top 5, and at one point they mentioned something with the hockey costume, and I actually gave a thumbs up on stage, which is so funny. I would never do that usually, but I was just so laid back and just so, I felt so great about making the top 5 already. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, I can just be myself.
Exactly. Just being you, being relaxed, and they came across to the judges. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, now another area that is scored is participation. Now, I think this is great because, you know, the judges score everything that they see on stage, but participation, everything behind the scenes, that's huge. So tell us about this area that's scored.
Okay, so participation, it's kind of, sort of like, it starts from the day you get there, and it goes on for the entire week of the pageant. And it's sort of, when they have events, it's sort of to see how engaged you are, how excited you are to really contribute, how much you're really, really willing to go out of your comfort zone, I guess, and kind of come out of your shell, to make sort of an effort, not just to get to know all of the other contestants, which I think is really important, but just to really see like how passionate you are about what this organization is all about. And so there are judges that, I kind of call them secret judges. So there are people around that are sort of keeping an eye on you, just kind of seeing how you engage with people, kind of seeing just if you're having fun and actually enjoying the experience. And yeah, so they kind of want to see what you're like. That's also sort of, they want to see in your natural element, as opposed to, like, say, our formal interview or actually being on stage where there's stage training. When they see you on a daily basis, they actually kind of get to know your personality and what you're really like. And so that's why it's so important as soon as you get to the pageant to really make an effort to just be there. You're only there for a week. Really, really commit to making an effort to get to know everybody, get to know everybody's names the first day, kind of start figuring out what they're like, kind of hear about the different parts of the world they're from. It's really incredible because you meet so many people from around the world. Like, some of my closest friends now live around the world, and so that's what, like, that's a huge part of it. It's just really going and enjoying the experience. And the more you enjoy your week, I felt like for me too, it's just the more you take away from it, because at the end of the day, there's only one crown, and even if I hadn't gone home with the crown, I think I would have gone home with a lot more. I made so many new friendships. I learned a lot about myself. I feel like it's just a really good growing opportunity. So I think that's a big thing about the participation, is I think a lot of people are more focused on the traditional scored categories, but Miss Globe is really cool because you actually are scoring your participation, just how much you're willing to put in during the week there. So yeah, that's actually in our final score as well, our participation mark.
So true. And I love that, and exactly like what you said, instead of, some contestants just going out on stage, turning it on, and just to remember you're always on and have fun. Make the most of it from the moment you get there.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you don't know, like some pageants allow you to compete again. Miss Global, you're actually allowed to compete up until the age of 35, which is awesome. But the thing is, you never know what opportunities you're going to have in life, and you never know if you're going to be able to compete again. So you kind of have to treat it as this is my one shot to just do my best, just represent myself and my country the best that I can, and just give it a shot and try and win the crown. And if I don't, I have something else to take from the experience.
Absolutely. The truth. Oh my goodness. Thank you for those fabulous tips, all the wonderful advice. Love it. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. See you guys later.
And thanks to the viewers for tuning in. And be sure to subscribe to the Pageant Planet's YouTube channel for more great interviews to help you succeed in pageantry. And Ella, we wish you all the best and look forward to seeing all that you accomplish in the remaining title.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you guys later.